What is going on, everybody? PHX here. Thank you for stopping by, and in today's video we are going to be talking about the Deadeye gear set. Yes, the Deadeye gear set that was released with Outriders Worldslayer and is kind of geared more towards making your essential sniper rifle builds. However, with this gear set and with the rifles currently in the game, there's just from my personal experience and trying to build this gear set out, there's just no viable way to make rifles that much better unless you're in a group setting and you can make this build like very DPS heavy. It's definitely not made for a solo player, but the way I have the build set up is geared more around towards having that solo play, still being able to proc millions of damage, but there's a lot of mods on this gear set that can just be tossed out the window unless you get perfect god rolls. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the actual build. So now for the build, we've got the Deadeye skull, the bonus firepower, cooldown reduction, long range damage, instant reload, hunt the prey, teleporting instantly replenishes magazine in your current weapon. We have plate piercer, increases your critical damage by 30%. The bonus is equal to 50% of your armor piercing. And then we have a throwaway mod, twice as hot whenever a skill is used, inflict an extra 30% of your anomaly powers damage to all enemies afflicted with burn. If you want to make this kind of geared more towards a burn build, then twice as hot might actually come in handy, might be very useful for you. But it's definitely something that I wasn't going for on this build, so it's just a throwaway mod for myself. Next, we got the Deadeye's cloak, bonus firepower, cooldown reduction, long range damage, headbanger, which automatically rolls on top of the cloak itself. Critical shots from sniper weapons deal 10% more damage. Each critical shot stacks at 60% damage, bonus up to 180%. The bonus is applied to the next non-critical shot, but lost when missing a shot. I really wish that headbanger wasn't just geared towards sniper weapons, because I feel like if they made it for all the weapons, then it would just be a top tier mod that you would use on your builds. And because you're not always consistently landing critical shots and sometimes you do miss your shots, I really didn't see a problem with having that much of a damage. But when I was trying to make this build into a sniper build, when it did come in handy, I was proccing upwards of 11 to 12 million, and it was astronomical. So headbanger is definitely it's a good mod. It's just not it's not a top tier mod, especially when it's only governed under one certain type of weapon, which are snipers. But I digress. So continuing on, we got arms and anomaly. Critical shots increase your anomaly power by 190,000 for 6 seconds. Self-medication, increase your max health by 10% when any skill starts its cooldown, stacks up to 3 times, each stack lasting 5 seconds. This is a perfect mod that you want for survivability, so I highly recommend you try and grind out, if you decide to use the gear set, to grind out for the self-medication mod into one of the gear set pieces that you do have, or into the build itself. That way you'll have the availability to change out mods, the 1 or 2 mods up top, because self-medication is just a very good survivability mod. Next, we got Deadeye's waistcloth, bonus firepower, cooldown reduction, long range damage. We got collateral damage, critical shots from sniper weapons deal 15% of their damage within a 3-meter radius. So every time you would use a sniper weapon and land a headshot, you would get like this, a little anomaly blast, and it would take out enough health for any mobs that were in the vicinity. But again, it is governed under sniper weapons, so I really wish they didn't do that. I wish it was just kind of governed under your ARs or your LMGs or something else. But because sniper weapons and trying to land headshots is just not viable, especially in close quarters and even from long range as well, because you're just so trying to land those headshots on those hitboxes is just, unless you have got a very, very itchy trigger finger, good luck with that. Next, we got damage absorber, increases your armor by 207,000 and resistance by 10%. We have adrenaline. Whenever your health drops below 30%, all ongoing cooldowns are reduced by 5 seconds. This mod actually comes in handy very well, especially if you are a trickster. You're not going to be doing that much damage. I mean, you'll be proccing millions depending on what weapons you do use. However, you might have to go through the phases of the arbiters depending on if you're laying down DPS fast enough. but having adrenaline actually does come in handy for when you do need your cooldowns, especially when it pairs well with self-medication. That way your health is coming back quickly rather than you just dying during your boss phases. Next, we've got Epic Gloves. We have Anomaly Power, Long Range Damage, Cooldown Reduction. We have Big Range. Slow Trap increases the sphere's range by 2 meters. Dum Dum Bullets increases assault weapon damage by 12%. And then a throwaway mod of Personal Space. And then lastly, we have the Boots of Mortal Embrace Epic. Anomaly Power, Long Range Damage, and Cooldown Reduction. We have Strong Twist. While the skill is active, increases weapons firepower by an additional 20%. Extra Bullet, which also comes in handy since you aren't maxing out your magazine. This will increase your magazine size by 30% and allow you to get 52 rounds if you're using an AR, 130 rounds if you're using an LMG, and like 11 rounds if you're using a sniper. And this will allow you to have those extra bullets inside of your magazine. It just goes to just below the actual like tier of the maximum amount in your magazine size. And then lastly, we have Emergency Stance, attain golem protective effect for 4 seconds whenever your health drops below 30%, which also comes in handy when you are having to do the phases of the boss. So I highly recommend you try doing Emergency Stance, and also trying to get Damage Absorber into the 3rd tier mod slot. Like, ideally, you would want all of your defensive mods in the 3rd tier mod slots rather than be in the 1st or 2nd mod slot. That way you just kind of have your availability of what you want to change and what you want to do with your build setup. So now for the weapons, so currently right now I am running the Thunderbird. You can definitely run something else. I highly recommend you run Inferno Seed because it is a tactical variant with a crit damage, status power, and long range damage. So you'll definitely be proccing all of your millions of damage through using Inferno Seed. I used it several times. I actually really enjoyed it. I really didn't think I would, but it does come in handy a lot. So look out for an Inferno Seed if you do get one, or if you wanted to, you could definitely run Time Ripper. It does run with close range damage, so it's kind of just like a whatever type weapon. And then you also have Absolute Zero, which does also come with long range damage, and is a standard variant assault rifle, so fully automatic rather than your tactical variant. So these two weapons are definitely a must-have: Absolute Zero and Inferno Seed. Time Ripper kind of for like a tertiary. Thunderbird, the only reason why I'm running Thunderbird is because look at the mods on it. Fortress in the 3rd tier, Ultimate Storm Whip, and then we got Major's Rage in the second slot. So this actually comes in handy very well, as you saw from the gameplay footage before. Yeah, so for your secondary, you could run. Now, if you really wanted to make this a hybrid assault rifle sniper build, then you could definitely run one of the snipers, Hellborn, the Landlubber, Decadence, Spirit Hunter, Icarus. Icarus is an automatic sniper, which is actually very fun to use, but landing the headshots can be quite cumbersome. But if you want to run like an LMG, I would recommend you run Emerald Chaos because it does roll with long range damage, crit damage, and status power, and then getting a good mod in the 3rd mod slot as well. And then for the sidearm piece, I know a lot of people run sidearms with Major's Rage to proc the Major's Rage first and then switch to their primary weapon. For me, I just land the headshots first and then I'll proc my primary. But yeah, so whatever you want to run here, you can do with it as you will. For me, I'm running Bolts and Thunder. We'll see. Maybe I'll make a sidearm build video if we ever get the sidearm upgrade to it. So now on to the skills. So for the skills, we're running Twisted Rounds. Again, remember, proccing the Anomaly Power first before propping Twisted Rounds will give you that big increase of firepower. And then we have Hunt the Prey, so it has a 4-second cooldown, which is actually very quick. And then we have Slow Trap, create an anomaly sphere that inflicts slow, and then for 10 seconds, which also is another 4-second cooldown, which is really nice. These two the fastest cooldowns that we do have to allow us to get our health back, which pairs very nicely with self-medication, as you saw before. So these two I definitely recommend. You could run Time Rift if you really wanted to, or you could run Borrowed Time, depending on what you're more comfortable with. So for the class tree, going into the class tree now, we are running bottom tree anomaly, and we are running top tree firepower. There are a few nodes on the top tree firepower where you are kind of throwaway because of, since you are proccing long range weapon damage entirely without any close range. So like all of your close range weapon damages are just kind of like whatever. There's no real reason to have them, which kind of sucks because they're nodes that you could use somewhere else. You could just run into the middle and then head upwards to avoid this, but then you are missing out on your 8% weapon damage here. You are missing out on armor piercing here as well, and maybe potentially critical hit damage and armor piercing as well. But it's all dependent on how you want to run this build. Right now, this is what we have going on. We have our concentration nodes going on. We have our resistance piercing by 10%, so 20% total, and then we have our assault master, increase your assault weapon damage by 3.5% for each on the concentration class node. And then if you didn't want to run assault weapons, you could definitely just run shotguns and then have and then just, you know, run it that way if you really wanted to. Next, we have our PAX tree, bottom tier PAX tree. We've got Triggerman, we have Lies and Deception, we have Failsafe Protocols, we have Power Overwhelming, and then we also have our Perpetuum Trickery. So this is where your anomaly power stacks up to 5 times for 10%, so 50% total, along with Mage's Rage, which goes up to 40%, so 90% total increase in your anomaly power. The stacks are consumed by the next damage skill you use, so definitely want to make sure you land all of your crit shots before you even proc your damage skill, so your twisted rounds. And then for the Ascension Tree, we have got Brutality, which is almost done, working on that long range damage. We have Prowess, which is crit chance, crit damage, and damage against elites. You could go for cooldown reduction to get your skills back a little bit faster, and then we also have Skill Leech as well. This is a very good setup. It's been working well for me. You could definitely try something else that would benefit your playstyle a little bit more. But yeah, so that is the Ascension Tree. So other than that, guys, overall, my consensus on the Deadeye gear set is that I can see that they were trying to make snipers more viable than how they are now and before when Outriders was released. Evidently, I just don't see another possible way to make snipers that much more viable unless you're in a group setting and you do have a sniper there with you. If you have a sniper in your group, that's awesome. They can lay down good DPS from afar. Especially with the sniper mods that currently roll with the Deadeye gear set, but at the same time, like, that is really the only benefit to using an actual sniper is by being in a group. Doing it solo it's not impossible, but it does become a headache when you are trying to land your headshots. I did have a lot of fun trying to build this out as a sniper, but at the same time, whenever I get aggravated because of the different types of the enemies and just not laying down enough firepower and getting overwhelmed, it became so much of a headache. I decided to roll with it and try and build out a different type of variation. And I'm glad I did, because I do kind of like this build. It feels very comfortable to use. It's very easy to use. You know, you're not going to be doing the whole shield beast or terminal velocity damage, you know, 13, 14, 15 million DPS, but you are going to be doing enough damage to feel the power of the build. So other than that, guys, let me know what you guys think of the Deadeye gear set. Are you going to give it a try? If so, let me know how you build it out. I would really like to know your consensus on it and know, like, you know, what led you to building out the way that you did. Okay, guys, that is it. That is all I have for you. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely leave a like, and if you enjoy the Outriders build videos, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on notifications. But again, guys, that is it. That is all I have for you. I'll see you guys around in the next video. Take care.